Okay, this is actually the third time I'm recording this, but it's such an important video that it deserves to be recorded. So the following is my prediction for the Beterbiev versus Bivol fight. So I'm just going to play this in the background. Hopefully I can mute it. So first off, the active fighter is always the more dangerous fighter. Bivol is the sharper fighter compared to Beterbiev because he fought more recently against Malik Zinad. And the active fighter is always the more dangerous fighter. Beterbiev will have to shake off that ring rust for the first 1 to 3 rounds. That will be Bivol's chance to not only build up a significant lead, but is his window to establish respect, make Beterbiev respect his power in the first 3 rounds. He has to do so responsibly and not recklessly. Next point, the Shakur/Floyd strategy. If I was Bivol, I would box circles around Beterbiev and make it a boring fight. Hit and clinch is the name of the game. The more boring, the more it will favor Bivol. The more he gets gutsy and tries to outmuscle Beterbiev, especially in inside exchanges, the higher the risk that Bivol will be hurt and caught by one of Beterbiev's short on the inside counter punches or overhand right counters that will land over Bivol's jab or his left hook. Next point, Bivol's unpredictable. That's another thing, is that Bivol is both unpredictable as well as predictable. He is unpredictable, as his opponents have stated, in terms of his rhythm and his punch selections, but he is predictable in terms of his favorite combinations. Now, we all know, and I can wager money on this, that he will do the 1-2-3, the jab, straight, right, left hook, pendulum step, either moving forwards or backwards. That is 100% guaranteed he will do it. It's just in his DNA. It's in his DNA. He isn't switching to a peekaboo Mike Tyson style overnight. Next point, Beterbiev is like water. Be like water, my friend. On the other hand, Beterbiev is more adaptable and even more unpredictable because he changes his style based on what he sees from his opponents and based on what his opponents give him. So we don't really see the same Beterbiev every fight. He doesn't even have to set up traps because it is his opponent setting up themselves for traps simply by throwing punches or being too aggressive. If I was Bivol, I'm fighting on the back foot all night and staying in the middle of the ring, avoiding the ropes or going into corners. Fight event summary. Bivol builds a solid lead in the first 4 to 6 rounds, but Beterbiev is able to adapt and start finding Bivol in between rounds 7 to 12. The mounting pressure will be too much for Bivol. Physically, the pressure is there because he is feeling for the first time heavyweight power, relentless power, and the timing is such that he will get caught as he is throwing his own punches, and Beterbiev is known to take punches in order to dish one of his own. This is doubly dangerous because there are punches, or these are punches, that Bivol will not see coming. And what do we know about punches you don't see coming? Those are the ones that knock you out, or at the very least hurt you / stagger you. The mental pressure will also mount, and he, meaning Bivol, or his corner, will have second thoughts on allowing Bivol to risk his long-term health and his future career prospects by taking too much damage. Is it worth surviving to round 12? Or is it better to just throw the towel and live to fight another day? Next point, the X factor. The X factor is cuts by accidental headbutt or just any way. Whoever gets cut first might be handicapped and will be at a disadvantage. Hopefully there are no cuts or strange anomalies like that on October 12th. Final prediction. My final prediction is Beterbiev by TKO stoppage. Either the ref stops the fight or Bivol's corner throws the towel anytime between rounds 9 to 12. I'm going to expand on the fight breakdown. I don't see an early stoppage for either fighter because they respect each other's skills too much, and especially Bivol respects Beterbiev's power too much, and they respect each other's IQ too much. No one is going to be reckless or disrespectful by trying to bomb the other out. This will be a strategic chess match, especially the first 6 rounds. The first 6 rounds, and then all hell will break loose between rounds 7 to 12. More risks will be taken by both fighters, especially in rounds 10 and 11, which leads me to believe that Beterbiev scores at least 1 to 4 knockdowns over Bivol in the totality of the fight. The first knockdown will take place between rounds 6 to 9, and then the final knockdown leading to the eventual stoppage, rounds 10 to 12. Beterbiev might himself be knocked down in a great exchange between the two, like something out of a Rocky movie, and between rounds 7 to 12. It will be action-packed in spurts, and perhaps the whole fight will be action-packed. But again, if I'm Bivol, making it as boring as possible. Just scoring, winning the rounds. Crazy combinations by Bivol. We will see those, but Beterbiev will quickly change the momentum of the fight. Excuse me. Beterbiev will quickly change the landscape and momentum of the fight once he catches Bivol clean on any body part. Could be the body, could be his head, doesn't matter. He's going to hurt. It will hurt, and Bivol will have to dig deeper than he has ever digged before in order to overcome the pain that is being inflicted on his body and the relentless pressure that Beterbiev will be imposing with his very patient yet predatory counter-punching style. What we have here is speed versus power. In the case of Beterbiev, timing versus Bivol's blitzing. Bivol tends to overwhelm his opponents with high volume. Both fighters are prepared for a 24-round marathon, but no one can prepare for a marathon of pain if it goes the distance. If it goes to the cards, the judges, I think we could see a close split decision. A win for Beterbiev on the cards if he can knock down Bivol at least twice, but if he doesn't, then perhaps Bivol wins, or a draw. Bivol will have to put on the performance of a lifetime, a masterclass, be at his absolute best defensively in order to sustain the least amount of damage as possible, which is a tall order, but if anyone can do it, it's Dmitry Bivol. Difference makers or game changers. Now, this is probably the biggest factors for Beterbiev winning. His superior ring IQ. Yeah, I said it. He's got superior ring IQ. We don't see such ring IQ except for with Tank Davis. He knows how to break down his opponent and pull out the win when he needs to, and also Bud Crawford as well. Beterbiev has superior patience, resilience, and superior adaptability. His counterpunching is elite, and most of all, his short, devastating shots are going to be the difference makers. Rematch. So I'm going to speculate that this goes 12 rounds and we see a rematch. The only way that Bivol can win in a rematch is if he can adopt the Kronk boxing style and have as a trainer Sugar Hill Stewart, who comes up with a blueprint to counter Beterbiev's strengths and capitalize on his weaknesses. Beterbiev's weaknesses. If Bivol can do his best Lennox Lewis / Vladimir Klitschko impersonation, and he's able to improve his punching power to a degree, and he will with Kronk, to be even more potent, then he will give Beterbiev something to think about, and could possibly even frustrate Beterbiev by shutting him down with the jab, not letting him in, not letting him get on the inside, by tying Beterbiev's arms up every time they have an exchange. Bivol will have to unfortunately employ the tactic of hitting Beterbiev with a quick 1-2, hold his arms in a clinch to avoid and prevent Beterbiev from returning fire. Even if the ref gives Bivol a warning for excessive holding, he will have to do this, or else he will risk getting knocked out. I haven't seen Bivol fight this way in any of his fights, but he's going to have to do this in order to win. Certainly, it will be the toughest fight in Beterbiev's career in terms of solving an unsolvable puzzle by being patient, and it will be the toughest fight in Bivol's career in terms of the pressure and the heavyweight power that he will have to endure, and that's a lot of pain. So in closing, I'm going to just say that I think Bivol was given way too much credit for his win over Canelo. Canelo's a great fighter, no doubt, but he is not a 175 or natural 175 pounder. If we look at their last 3 opponents, Bivol fought Malik Zinad, he fought Lyndon Arthur, he fought Zurdo Ramirez. Those are good opponents, but they're not elite opponents. Lyndon Arthur, of note, was knocked out by Anthony Yard in the 4th round. But if we look at Artur Beterbiev's opponents, the last 3, Callum Smith, Joe Smith Jr., and Anthony Yard, those are elite opposition. So I think we're going to see that play a big factor because it's prepared Beterbiev for anything, really. Because Joe Smith can jab, he can do, Callum Smith can jab. They can fight on the outside, but, once they felt the power, they threw their plans out the window and said, let's just do this. And it's do or die. And Bivol might be pressured to go to a do or die moment because he will feel that pressure. And at that point, you feel like, if I don't make the move now, he's going to take me out in the next round. So I have to make my stand now. So it's going to be a very interesting fight, to say the least. It's the biggest fight in decades. Biggest fight since Lewis Tyson, Pacquiao Mayweather, Triple G, Canelo. This fight only comes every 10, 20 years, maybe even 50 years, to have 2 undefeated fighters at their prime. And additionally, I want to mention that Beterbiev has such good champion lifestyle habits. He doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, eats properly, gets enough sleep. It's really going to negate the age factor because people are saying, he's 39, yeah, he's coming off an injury, and I really don't think that's going to play a factor in this fight because they postponed the fight because Beterbiev wasn't feeling 100%. So if he's feeling 100%, which I believe he will be come October the 12th, we're going to see no one's going to think of the age difference because Beterbiev will, perhaps he might do what Bud Crawford did to Errol Spence. It could happen. He might make Bivol look stupid, who knows. But if Bivol fights smartly and ties him up every chance he gets, lands a 1-2, ties him up, stays on the outside, does the Vladimir Klitschko, Lennox Lewis impression, he can win this fight on points. Just make it as boring as possible. So having said that, we'll check back with you. October the 13th after the fight has materialized. And thanks for your time.